Hey everyone, welcome to our Google Shopping webinar. Today we're going to cover everything you need to know in order to get started and shine on Google Shopping. My name's Allie Zelt. I'm a Client Success Manager here at Yapo. My main focus is helping SMB brands optimize their strategy for generating reviews and visual UGC and leveraging that social proof throughout the buying journey and marketing funnel. Today, I'm joined by Dalia Barsamian.
Hi, Allie. Thanks for having me. Hi, everyone. I'm Dalia. I'm a Strategic Partner Development Manager at Google. I've been at Google for a little over 6 years and currently manage strategic referral partnerships for Google Shopping in the Americas. I've also, previously worked with merchants and managed partnerships, support, and onboarding specifically for one of the sub-programs Buy on Google.
Thanks so much for coming, Dalia. We're super happy to have you. Before we dive in, let's introduce Yapo and Google Shopping. Yapo is a leading e-commerce marketing platform. We help thousands of brands of all sizes accelerate direct-to-consumer growth. Our single platform approach integrates solutions for reviews, loyalty, SMS marketing, and more, empowering you to create smarter, high-converting experiences that spark and sustain customer relationships. We integrate with the tools you use every day, including Google, Instagram, top e-commerce platforms, and the rest of your tech stack.
All right, I'm going to talk about it. Google Shopping, what is it? I'm going to talk about all our programs, what we're building, just how to best fit your business into Google Shopping. Allie, do you mind going to that next slide? Awesome, thank you. So like I mentioned, we're working to build an open ecosystem and really empower digital commerce. We've seen obviously the acceleration in the markets and things that sort, but I'll spend a few minutes today really just sharing some specifics on that and exactly what's in flight. Allie, next slide. So we want to make Google the best place for users and merchants alike. So from the user's perspective, we want to have their shopping journey start on Google, and we don't care where it ends, whether that's through the immersive Buy on Google, universal cart that I'll talk about, or if it's clicking out to a D2C website, where Allie's going to help in with some of that ads and reviews. But so we just want that user to find, the products they're looking for, the best prices, the best shipping, really the whole package in their shopping journey. And for merchants, we want to enable merchants and more types of merchants onto our platform and just grow really a diverse commerce ecosystem. Next slide. So, COVID is no secret, and the acceleration of e-com is not one either, really. And so we've seen that shift essentially accelerate by roughly 5 years. So, it's not really going away, and it's strong. So we're really diving into it. We're trying to make the best ecosystem for any shopping journey, whether it's just exploratory, you're looking at that review, you're not sure where to buy, or you're down that funnel, you know exactly what you're looking for, you've already done the research, and you're just trying to execute. Next slide. Oh, thank you. So obviously we're here to help you get discovered on Google, right? Help you understand, where to get started, the programs you can opt into, and really drive traffic to your website, get more merchants acquired that way, sellers acquired, consumers acquired that way, and get some brand recognition. And we're making that all free. So last year, we enabled free listings, which I'll talk about as well. And this is organic traffic to your website. So there's definitely some pros and cons, and of each one, whether or not you're a website list or a merchant without a website. So there's programs that kind of fit any mold. But to that point, the choice extends to that sign up process, and we'll talk about that, and we'll show you some of that details in the coming slides as well. But onboarding is simpler than it has been, which has really unlocked a lot of merchants and success in that way. And obviously, you can sell on Google, which is that Buy on Google piece that I mentioned. So we'll dive into that and just how to really get that most exposure you can on the Google platform. Thanks, Allie. So some key programs, like I mentioned at a high level, I like to bucket them really into two segments here. We're looking at the retailers with those websites. So you have a D2C, you have a relationship with those, with a consumer, you're building on that, you're remarketing to them, and you're getting, creating that flywheel directly with that consumer. So for merchants that do have a website, we have free listings, and then we have shopping ads, which I'm sure people are familiar with, the carousel, and I'll show you guys some screenshots in a few. But so with free listings, like I mentioned, it's that free traffic to your site. It's, below the line organic traffic, depending on obviously the search and what shows up and how, good your product feeds are, and photo quality, and things related to your feed specifically. So, but again, it's free. So why not opt in to get incremental traffic? And, for those businesses that do have the budget and they want to get more granular with their, with their surfacing and their reach, and just their audience holistically, there is, shopping ads. So, in combination with Google Ads, setting up either smart campaigns, or, really granular specialized campaigns, depending, again, what your products are and things of that sort, your demographic, regionally even. So you have that opportunity to really leverage our tools to get, your direct and anything incremental. And then on the other side, this is that buy on Google option I mentioned, or program rather, is really for retailers that have a website. So you can get also some, another avenue, go a little omni-channel and create, more revenue streams, but also for those merchants without websites. So think of your typical, marketplace merchant that has been super successful on other platforms, doesn't really want to create a D2C website, but wants to, expand their revenue streams and, and their exposure to consumers. So really creating, a one-stop shop for every, size and fit of merchants alike. So with those programs, obviously some of these I already mentioned, but that free exposure, with free listings, that incremental traffic, and really working better together. So that, that either incremental traffic when you have those shopping ads going, or if, you're new, you don't have that, the marketing budget just yet, or maybe it's very small, and you can't run it, on a consistent, always on kind of type of thing, to use them better together. We've seen obviously some increase in clicks. We've seen, 100%, over 100% increase in impressions across free listings and ads. So it's really a great opportunity to lean into. And like I mentioned with Buy on Google, that is basically one universal cart that someone can search on Google, add products to their cart, whether they're on search, images, the property, which is that shopping tab at the top. That you could just check out, add different stores, different products from different stores, and check out. You have a Google guarantee, so you are leaning into, as a consumer, you're buying from essentially a trusted source. You know that Google will back you in your shopping experience. So there's that. And actually, in the next slide, Allie, I will show you guys kind of, what does this look like? Dahlia, you're talking about the carousel. What is the carousel? What, where is the organic search underneath? So this is our shopping property. So like I mentioned, that little shopping tab at the top, you always will see a nice, beautiful carousel with those targeted ads that, high quality images. They are the ones that have some extra annotations to get more visibility on consumers, and really kind of be like, oh, free shipping. Oh, it's a sale price. All of these fun little nuances that you can add to get some more eyes on your products. And then right below that, under that line, is really those free product listings. So obviously merged in with any local inventory. I mean, the Buy on Google piece, there's tons of organic opportunities to surface there. And Allie, if you wouldn't mind clicking through. Awesome. One more if you don't mind. Great. So I mentioned earlier kind of the mission, right? So really giving a comprehensive choice to the users on their shopping journey, giving merchants higher visibility, and really just kind of closing that gap So we'll talk in the next slides of just the different types of listings across Google. So Allie, next slide. Thank you, perfect. So free listings on the shopping tab, similar to the screenshot I just shared below, but really just another example of kind of, you see those star ratings now, and you see the, the more detailed product listings. So it's really rich data that will show up on that shopping tab, and that's why it's super important to have like strong attributes, very detailed P2P descriptions, more than one image, high quality images, really kind of tackle all of those things that may take a little bit of time to onboard, but or at least get settled, but then it becomes part of your norm. So so that's what listings look like on the shopping tab. Then on the next slide, I'll show you guys what it looks like on Google search. So you have obviously text ads too. It's Google, or shopping is not just a visual game. Sometimes you're looking for an item number or something like that. It shows up better, in text. So there is that opportunity on mobile and obviously on desktop as well. And any annotations obviously help kind of bring that that experience and that journey maybe a little bit shorter, or just more incentivized for that consumer. And this is something we call the knowledge panel. So this is right now only in the US, but essentially it's on the right side of a search page, and you have this essentially list of all of the products that or all of the vendors or the merchants that have this product. And you really can do essentially a organized way of looking at all the price details and kind of a one-stop shop of, where can I get this? Where can I find it locally? Can I find it nearby? Is it in stock in my size, or whatnot? So it's a nice way to get that visual, but all of that granular data as well. And of course, image search. I never knew I would use image for shopping myself as much as I do. Allie, I don't know about you, but I'm always like, oh, I love that. I love that top. I don't know 100%. What it looks like. I don't know who makes it, but I know what it looks like. So that's me constantly being like, oh, this whatnot. So now you can annotate that. You can put that your images with those rich images, having those surface on image search. Get some traffic that way as well. And so if we shift just a little, we'll hop over to the next slide, Allie. I'll talk to you guys about, why buy on Google, right? So with essentially listing and selling your products on Google, there's zero commission when it comes to this buy on Google program. We shifted over a year ago to this new structure, and really tying back into that mission of just, we're here to connect people. We're here to be a resource. People come to Google to search, to find answers. So we're helping them in that shopping journey. So we'll, grow your sales there. There's lower costs given that zero commission. You're only paying, any PSP fees involved there, which, increases your margins dramatically, especially compared to other marketplaces. And like I mentioned, it's that frictionless buying experience, given it's that one universal cart. Consumers already trust Google so much, and they know they can check out seamlessly and have Google's backing should something need to get canceled or just need an extra, a little bit of help. And so expanding, that choice for the user, and the ability for merchants to meet consumers where they are. So like I mentioned, shopping's not a one-way path, right, Allie? I mean, like, how many times have you really been like, oh, I'm looking for this, or I'll stop by this later, or I have a birthday coming up, or there's so many things where you kind of plan ahead of, I don't know what to get for Valentine's Day, or I don't know, oh, there's I want a new refrigerator, but I know there's a US holiday coming up when all the stores are going to be marking things down and things like that. So you kind of always, in a way, plan ahead without even thinking you're planning ahead, even if you're just browsing at the mall or whatnot. So we're with this with Google, we're helping consumers with their journeys. And with Buy on Google, like I mentioned, it is that zero commission model. We're putting that choice back into the consumer's hands, and giving them great assortment. and something that they might not find elsewhere, or just, they have to go on a longer hunt, or something that they can come back to. So there's that. And next slide, Allie. So a little preview here of what listings through Buy on Google will look like on that shopping tab. So you see, like I mentioned, about that knowledge panel a bit of how to see kind of where you can buy, where you can't. This annotates a bit better, where you can understand, oh, I'm actually clicking out versus buying, buying directly. So any product listings that are with Buy on Google, they will have a nice little colorful Google shopping cart. And you can, obviously quick checkout or add your cart and kind of go through that normal checkout experience. And just kind of more visuals. I'm a visual person, so we had to add some screenshots here. But it's that frictionless experience. So I was talking about, oh, well, where's this universal cart, Dahlia? What are you talking about? Well, you get it on the shopping tab. You get it on the homepage, and you get it on Assistant. So super easy, pretty all the touch points that we're at, right? So Allie, I'm actually going to push it back to you. Tell us how to stand out shopping.
Yeah, thanks, Ollie. That was super informative and really interesting. So appreciate all the insight. Now we'll shift gears and talk a little bit more about how your brand can stand out on Google Shopping, and also where Yotpo is able to add value to that. So a unique advantage that Google Shopping has is that it's visual. Obviously, Dahlia just really alluded to that quite a bit. So a Google Shopping ad presents shoppers with a product photo, a customer rating, price, sales price, and much more, all in one easy glance. So Google Shopping also has a really strong mobile traffic element to it. In the US, Google Shopping ads on mobile fuel 79% of device ad spend and win 87% of clicks. They also hold 62% of Google paid search clicks in the US. Another huge advantage for growing brands in particular is that Google Shopping ads account for 88% of paid search clicks for non-brand queries, like black t-shirt, for example. Now I'm going to go through a couple of tips for standing out on Google Shopping. So the first tip is really maximizing your titles. You have 150 characters for your title, and you really should be using as many of those as you can. Including the most important details in any keywords that shoppers might be searching for is definitely a best practice. So you'll want to make sure that you have the most important information in the first half of the title to account for differences in screen size, making sure your brand name is of course part of that. The second tip is really honing in on your descriptions. So descriptions can be 5,000 characters, but you'll want to get the most important details into the first 200 characters before a consumer has to click to view the rest of the description. You'll want to make sure to include any special features that set your brand or your product apart from the rest, like ingredients, benefits, or special attributes. The third tip we have is really thinking about how to enhance your images. So any images used on Google Shopping should be of the highest quality. You can add in additional images to your product listings that feature variations in attributes like color or size. You can also use the Google Merchant Center to run your images through automatic image improvement to ensure that they meet all the requirements for your product feed. Lastly, our final tip here is to use banners to highlight the unique product attributes like Dahlia had mentioned earlier. So adding banners like sale or curbside pickup, 20% off will draw the user's eye to your products, even in a sea of more similar products.
I love those, Allie, especially those two, because if you don't have, honestly, those high quality images, I can't honestly, I probably talked about it too much already, but you're not going to surface, right? You're not going to like if you're think of yourself as almost like a consumer when you're uploading your feed and you're putting, you're getting your pictures together and all of your assets, combined, and like you're not going to buy from a pixely, merchant. You're just not. You're not going to trust it automatically. And same with the PDP descriptions. As consumers, we're looking at so many websites these days, so many product listings where we're used to seeing whether it's apparel size, this, that, like what size, there's a model, what size are they wearing, like all of these little details that you kind of don't think of sometimes, but you gotta, if you take a step back and be like, well, as a consumer, what am I looking for? Like, what are the details that are important to me? So I love those tips. So good.
Yeah, well, glad that they resonate with you, and totally agree. I think on the visual front, a really interesting metric that I know from Yotpo is I think it's like 55% of shoppers or something have not bought a product due to unhelpful photos. So I think it really goes to show you the power of visual proof these days. So all really good stuff. Perfect. So now to transition gears, I want to talk about how Yapo specifically can help you to stand out within Google Shopping. Did you know that retailers see a 24% increase in click-through rate when they add reviews, ratings, and photos to their Google Shopping ads? Dahlia, did you know that?
No.
Fun fact.
Guilty, did not.
Well, essentially, the reason it's important is that you can give shoppers a unique, personalized experience that they would normally have on your site, all while building credibility and trust within your brand and ultimately driving purchases directly within the Google Shopping platform. To successfully showcase your user-generated content on Google Shopping, you'll need to make sure that you're collecting reviews, ratings, and photos through a trusted Google Reviews partner like Yapo, or your shoppers might never see that content at all. Our partnership with Google allows you to feature star ratings, reviews, and Yelpo-generated customer photos in your Google Shopping ads and Google Shopping product listings. Also, using Yelpo can help you maintain compliance and streamline operations to create easy pathways for customers to leave their reviews and photos, which is helpful as well. Dahlia, how do you get started with Google Shopping just to begin? What are the requirements?
I love that question. So currently Google Shopping is available in, over 50 countries. There's a minimum of 50 eligible reviews across your products, and a product actually must have at least 3 reviews for star ratings to show up on Google Shopping ads. So I wanted to learn a little bit more though. How easy is it for Google Shopping to connect to Yotpo? Let me know. Give me some insight, Allie.
Yeah, of course. Great question. Happy to dive into that now a little bit more now. So first things first is you need to configure your Yotpo account and make sure that your Yotpo product catalog is being sent to us through the Yotpo feed. So basically how you do this is you'll go into your Yotpo account. On the dashboard, you'll go to the social and Google section. From there, you'll click on Google Shopping Ads, and then you can really easily activate the Google Shopping Ads feature. So yeah, super easy. The last thing you'll want to do here is make sure that you choose the right category so that we know exactly, where to send the feed to.
Super simple.
Perfect.
Yeah. Straightforward. I love it. And I love a good visual. So awesome.
Yeah, of course. So that's
is that it? Is there more steps? What do they do after that?
Yeah, there's more. This is probably the prerequisite, but to jump into your second question, the next thing that you'll need to do is make sure that your Yotpo product catalog has the unique identifiers that are needed to get Google Shopping running. So basically, in order to get our star rating showcased on Google, we need to create a match between the Yotpo product catalog and the Google merchant feed. And that is done and powered by unique identifiers. So in this case, a couple of different ones we could use, but I would say that the combination of brand and MPN tends to result in the strongest likelihood of a match. And then the other option is you could use a GTIN like UPC, EAN, ISBN.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, so that's the first things first is you'll want to double check your Google feed to see what information you're sending through that so that we can really create that match within the Yotpo interface. Obviously, if you're not sending unique identifiers in either feed, then you can, pick your poison and make sure that you're updating both the Google Merchant Center and the Yotpo catalog. But we'll assume in this case that, you have your unique identifiers in Google and all you have to do is update Yotpo. Really good news is that if you're on Shopify, you can actually do this right within the Shopify interface using the tag system and our automatic catalog sync. So even makes things more easy, which is great. If you're not on Shopify, still a pretty straightforward process, but what you'll want to do is download the product catalog from your Yotpo settings. And then from there, you'll want to make sure that you have the catalog pulled up in a CSV. It'll really clearly give you in each column what the unique identifier is, such as, UPC, MPN, and then all you have to do is fill out that column for your products and then re-upload those updates, making sure it's in a UTF-8 CSV file.
Awesome.
Perfect. Then the last step, just to mention, is if you do have variants within your catalog, there may be one additional step you'll need to make in order to just make sure that, all of your shirts, your red, your blue, your black, that they all show up with the same consistent reviews. Important to note here that Yotpo collects reviews at the parent product level. and that we don't actually have the variant data within our catalog. So that's why we need to take this extra step to really instruct Google to share reviews from the parent where we have the reviews to those variants. So in order to do that, you'll actually make just a brief change to the Google merchant feed. And here, all you need to do is take the spec SKU of the parent product within Yotpo and save that in the item group ID field for all of the relevant variants. So once you do that, then that'll be a great way to make sure that all of your reviews are showing up across, different sizes, different colors, etc.
I love that. A lot of people forget, like, oh, there are some variances. I need to break this up. I need to include certain things. So that's a great call out. I feel like that one's easily forget it.
Yeah, for sure. And overall, good thing is that it's super simple. So something that, our documentation can always help you out with too if you get lost. So overall, like pretty straightforward to set up, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Allie, obviously you mentioned Google Merchant Center a little bit in that. So I want to take a minute and actually just walk everyone through kind of where to get started on our side, So you wouldn't mind going to the next slide. Yeah. So signing up with Google Merchant Center. So Google Merchant Center is really our housing of all of, reporting or feed management, business information management, and obviously linking to Google Ads and Yotpo. So really, in order to to surface anything, to get involved, you got to sign up for Merchant Center account. So you do that by signing up at merchants.google.com, and we'll see if we can share that link with everybody else. Maybe after the webinar, we'll see. But you sign up there, and you really can sign up for one program. Like I mentioned, you could sign up for all three, depends on what your business objectives are. And so you go there, you sign up, and obviously it is free to list those products unless you're doing ads. And super simple. Then Allie, would you mind going to the next slide? Awesome. So for those merchants that do have a website, you would need to verify your website. So this is super important. We want to make sure, it is the rightful owner. It is, we're verified that way. So easily going into your business information in settings, basically you type in your website, you click a few buttons, you get it verified, and you can then finish your onboarding for either free listing, shopping ads, or buying Google, or any of the other programs or running promotions and things like that. So yeah. So at a high level, it's
awesome. Super simple.
Yeah. Super simple. There's obviously click data and other reporting that maybe we could dive into at another time. But from this get-go, let's just get merchants onto more platforms, get more visibility for them.
Love that. Totally makes a lot of sense. Before we open up the chat for questions, Dahlia, if it's cool, I'd love to go over some FAQs that we typically get.
Send them my way.
All right, perfect. Amazing. So first off, who can get started with Google Shopping?
Any merchant, whether you have a website or you don't have a website, come on down. We have programs for literally, like if you are a mom and pop shop that just because of maybe COVID, you're like, okay, well, I want to dabble into this, but don't have the bandwidth. Like whether you're super small or you're a big box retailer, we will help try to grow everyone.
Oh, wow. It's amazing. I feel like it's really an inclusive environment. We love that. Super. Next question is, where can a brand start? Is there a Shopify app? Like, how does that all work?
Yeah, for sure. So Shopify, obviously, they can get connect like you mentioned with the Google app in their app store and easily connect Merchant Center in that way. Or you can obviously go directly to merchants.google.com. We do have other channel partners and other e-commerce platforms we work with as well. So I'm sure you will see that Google branding, but those are two of the most prominent ways to get started.
Perfect. Really helpful. And the next question is it possible for a brand to have multiple listings on one search result?
Well, so search results are based on the query itself. So if a merchant has more than one product that fits that category or that query rather, the search query, then yeah, of course it's going to show up. It'll be its own product listing based off G10 and some of the variants that you mentioned, but it'll be like a normal search result.
Got it. Totally makes sense. And the next question for you is, where can a brand track their results?
Absolutely. So when we're thinking about free listings, for example, The reporting will be housed in Merchant Center. So that's where you can look at the impressions, clicks, things of that sort. But when it comes to shopping ads, you got to head over to Google Ads and really kind of look in your dashboards there, look at reporting depending on, at the campaign level, what impressions, was there a lift somewhere, what was your CPC and all of those things. All of that reporting from an ads perspective will be housed in Google Ads.
Oh, nice, very convenient. Well, thanks for going all of those or through all of those from the Google perspective. I also just want to quickly go over some Yotpo frequently asked questions for Google Shopping, just to make sure, we're being thorough. So one question that I often get asked is how long it's going to take for star ratings to start showing up in shopping campaigns. So the thing is here that once the Yotpo feed is activated and the Yotpo product catalog is updated, both of those two things need to happen. From that point forward, it can take 2 to 6 weeks for reviews to start showing up in Google Shopping campaigns. The reason that this period fluctuates is that it gives Google the time to actually ingest the feed, perform the matching, and make the display on their site. So it really can, end up anywhere within that range. So key thing, just be patient. You probably did it right. It's just a matter of waiting for everything to happen.
Which is honestly a great amount of time, because it's like, if you're new to this, you're new to campaigns, it's going to take you a minute to understand what your audience is and how to really get, your ads and your campaigns to be optimized. So it runs parallel. I love it. Good. Honestly, I think that's actually pretty quick. Okay.
Yeah, no, I think that's perfect. I think, you blink in the blink of an eye, they'll show up, which is awesome. Great. Another question here is just understanding more about if brands can control the reviews that they send to Google. So, this is something that, while I can appreciate why you'd want to, maybe have a little bit more say in this, for authenticity purposes and Google really just being, that trustworthy source of proof, we really do need to send them all reviews in an unmoderated feed. So this does mean that, even if you have reviews that you don't publish on your brand site through Yotpo, those will get sent to Google. So just something to keep in mind to make sure, you have full context on what's being sent and when. Yeah, and I would say also just from a moderation perspective, Yotpo does also recommend that you publish as many of those reviews as possible. Even a 1-star or a 2-star really does build a ton of credibility and just gives a lot more clout to all the positive reviews you're collecting. So it's really not a detriment at all, and if anything, just helps to establish the credibility of all the social proof that you're getting.
Absolutely. I will add to that, Ali. Users just
please.
They want to know who they're buying from. They want to know. So I love reviews. It's almost like, to your point, I don't know if that trust level is there if it's only 5 stars. Give me something real. No one's perfect.
Okay. No product ever gets all 5 stars. I'm always curious what they're hiding from me if it does. So totally feel you on that. Awesome. And then the last question that I wanted to bring up is just understanding, once Google Shopping is set up, are you guaranteed to see star ratings all the time? So here the answer is not really. Obviously, we all know that Google's amazing at what it does, and it has its own complex algorithms to really decide when and where it's appropriate to display those stars. So from a Yotpo perspective, really the role that we play is making sure that the feed is sent and that the reviews are matching when they should. And then it's really up to Google to decide when they should be matching them and where, obviously to be advantageous to the merchants and give you guys the most bang for your buck. So just key thing is don't panic if you're not seeing them all the time, because obviously, you probably are Googling your brand as a brand advocate all the time, and it wouldn't really be to your ad spend benefit if you're always seeing those things populate. Perfect. So now if you do have any questions, please feel free to send them in the chat and we'll do our best to answer them. But that's it. Thanks for joining us. Really just wanted to say a final thank you to our Google superstar, Dahlia. You were amazing, and we truly have all learned so much from you today. So really appreciate you taking the time.
Oh my goodness, are you kidding? Thanks for having me. I've, obviously worked with you guys for such a long time. I always learn something great from you guys. You're always innovative. And I'm just happy that I was able to talk to your merchants, be on your platform. So thanks for having me.
Of course, and really want to thank all of you for joining us today. We really hope that this webinar has helped you see the power of Google Shopping and also how much Yotpo can help you boost your ads and your results. So please feel free to send any more questions to me or to Dahlia. But that's all we got. Thank you guys so much. Bye.